This man strangled his mother to death and then buried her in his bedroom under his bed. And you will not believe how they caught him. This happened in a small community in Sierra Leone on the 23rd of July 2022. And according to what we know, neighbors of the deceased woman, Fatmata Kagbo, complained about how they hadn't seen her in days. She was believed to have been last seen on the 20th of July 2022. And after then, they suddenly stopped seeing her, almost as if she disappeared. But that was not the case because something worse had happened to her. The culprit, by the name of Ibrahim Kagbo, lived with his mother Fatmata, a very old woman. His 12-year-old niece also lived with them. So basically, when the neighbors stopped seeing Fatmata, they approached Ibrahim asking him, "What's up? Where is your mother?" Sources say he told them that she had traveled, but to the neighbors, that did not make sense. Fatmata was a very old woman, and she was quite known in the neighborhood. If she had to travel, she would have at least told a few of her friends and a few of the neighbors to at least put an eye on her 12-year-old granddaughter. And that is why it did not sit well with them that Fatmata had traveled. The people in the area were suspecting something was off. They did not know what it was, but they knew something wasn't adding up. And on the 23rd of July, 3 days after Fatmata had gone missing, that was when the truth came out. Ibrahim's 12-year-old niece decided to speak out on something that she saw her uncle doing, something that did not make sense at all. And guys, you will not believe what it was. Before we continue, I want to tell you guys about 1xBet, the most reliable betting platform right now. You can officially register for free. However, if you register with our promo code TCD, you will get a whopping 300% bonus on your first deposit. The Premier League is around the corner. This would be a good time to place a bet and start cashing out. They also have a no-risk offer, which means when you bet on top matches and you lose, you will get your money back. So what are you waiting for? Register now with our promo code TCD and get 300% bonus on your first deposit. Now let's continue our story. So basically, after the neighbors stopped seeing Fatmata and after they had confronted Ibrahim and Ibrahim told them that Fatmata had traveled, they knew they weren't satisfied with that answer. And obviously, there was only one more person to ask on the whereabouts of Fatmata, and that was Fatmata's granddaughter, Ibrahim's 12-year-old niece. And so, that early morning on the Saturday, the 23rd of July, some neighbors approached the little girl and they asked her on the whereabouts of her grandmother. And she too replied that she hadn't seen her grandmother in a while too. When they asked the little girl if she knows the grandmother had traveled, the little girl said no, that the grandma did not tell her anything. And clearly, this only raised more suspicion. But then the little girl said something else. She told them that in as much as she hadn't seen her grandmother, she saw her uncle doing something unusual. She told them that she saw her uncle carrying cement and mud into his room, building something on his bed. They call it a mud bed, a muddy platform where he would have to put his mattress on top. And when the people learned that Ibrahim was building this mud bed around the same time they last saw Fatmata, they knew instantly that that was not a mud bed. Immediately the little girl told them of the mud bed, they went to report to a chief in the community, who instantly ordered a group of men, a group of servicemen, to go into Ibrahim's room and inspect the so-called mud bed. At this point, it was said Ibrahim had run away because they were confronting him on the mud bed. He clearly knew that the secret has been exposed. When the people broke into the mud bed to see what was inside, they dug the sand out only to discover the decomposing body of Fatmata. And it did not take long before Ibrahim was also caught and arrested and brought back to the house to explain himself and explain how his mother got into the mud bed he was building. At this point, they've caught him and they found the dead body of Fatmata Kagbo. And then they asked him, why did he kill his mother? And you will not also believe his answers. Ibrahim claimed that the reason he strangled his mother was because she was hurting him and torturing him, and he had had enough. And so in one of their confrontations, he strangled her and then decided to bury her in his room under his mud bed. What is not clear is what he meant by his mother torturing him or tormenting him or hurting him. Obviously, Ibrahim is a full-grown man, looking like he's in his 40s. It's not as if he's a child that I would say the mother was beating him or sending him errands. So what could he possibly mean by hurting? Was the woman nagging at him for maybe being a failure in life? Saying that at his age, he's still living in his mother's house. Could that have been the reason? Or was he accusing her of being a witch? More like blaming her for not being successful. Because that is a thing. That is something that happened to a lot of people. They always want to blame the old woman for their failures in life. Whereas it's not clear what he meant by his mother torturing him or hurting him, many people have said that it could have been a case of money rituals. At this point, it's not clear what the motive is. The case has been taken to court and Fatmata's body has been buried in a marked grave for the purpose of exhumation, maybe until the case is settled in court. It's such a very heartbreaking story and its motive is still very unclear. We just have a lot of speculations going around. But do let me know what you think about this. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share and stay subscribed to this page. Should there be any update, I would let you know.